Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to resume my tarot readings for TVXQ. I wanted to continue this series. I wanted to continue with the other member of TVXQ. I think I read for Juno already, so this time it's Max Jamin turn. So let's talk a bit about his energy. And from what I remember, that his birth chart, it's that he's an Aquarius with a moon in Pisces, which is interesting that both of them, Juno and Jamin, actually are both of them are Aquarius sun. But as you can see, their moon signs definitely make a difference when it comes to their approach, when it comes to how they present themselves. I do not know much about their behavior. I haven't watched like interviews or something like that, so I do not know much about their style of communication and how they behave, but I'm going to use my intuition here to kind of do an interpretation. But from what I was able to pick up about Juno's reading is that his moon in Capricorn was very strong, and I believe that he also had other placements in Capricorn as well. So he is very goal orientated person, and he's very focused on career, on actually being successful, on achieving, probably he's very organized with his matters, and for him reputation and being professional and being able to work and to be productive, for him it's really necessary for his soul, you know. So I think that probably when I read for him and about all these accusations and everything that he was facing, I believe that he must have felt a lot of frustration to actually not being able to continue working, you know, because I have the feeling that he is a sort of workaholic. But like I mentioned in his reading, all these things happen for a reason, you know, and sometimes these obstacles in our way kind of allowed us to open up our perception to ask ourselves what is important, you know, especially when you are struggling or when you are having like when things are not going the way you want them to be. Sometimes in those moments of desperation, you do end up seeing your life and your priorities start to have a different order. You know, I wanted to read for Changmin because I know he's an Aquarius, but his moon in Pisces, it's something that I don't know if is it me that probably is it just me that I tend to see the moon sign in the person that I read for, especially in the person that are actually people that I see face to face also. Probably because I do have like a very strong connection with their inner world, so somehow I'm able to go deeper into their energy and not just from what they present themselves to be. For example, if you are an Aries sign or if you are an Aquarius sign, it's like I see other energy besides you being, or besides of me saying like, oh yes, both of them are Aquariuses. They are Aquarius suns, so they are original, they behave this way, they are similar. And actually what I perceive here about the two of them is that they are very different one from the other. Their energies is totally different, and I think that in these differences it's actually what we can find a good teamwork and also chemistry and a lot of opportunities for growth and from a very genuine feedback, you know, because if we had two people that are equals, that they are literally the same. I don't think there would be room for growth and for experimentation. And I think that probably because they have spent so much time together, their mannerisms or maybe the way they behave can look on the outside can look very similar, and especially because they are part of the group. So and I believe that it's just the two of them right now. So maybe if some fans can like clarify this for me. I believe it's just the two of them, but I do not know how they end up like this. I think I heard something, but I'm not really sure. So let's start with Jamin. And also what I know is that he is married already, but like there's not much information about his private life. So let's see the archetypes that he got. Changmin got Samaritan, engineer, and athlete. So yes, here I can see like a mixture of Aquarius and Pisces energy. And also he could, I don't remember the rest of his birth chart, but maybe he also has some kind of Leo rising or Leo energy in there, because there's a star element here. I think that starting with the Samaritan, I think that there's a side of him that is very Piscean, actually, is what I see, is that he is a giver in the sense that probably sometimes he is too generous with probably with people that don't deserve it. I do not know if he is religious or if he practices some kind of religion, but his mindset is always to be of service to others. I think that this is the way he behaves in life, and probably he's very humble at the same time. I think that he's the kind of person that just gives and he doesn't expect nothing in return. He's very like, he's a giver. He's very generous, and he does have this empathic nature where actually he always wants to put himself in a position where he can be of help to others. So probably it's not that he's going to give you something material, like give you money or something like that. But he does have these gestures, or probably this way of approaching people that is very considerate. And I think that's also the Samaritan here also lets me know that he probably puts other people's needs before his. So I sense a very different approach from Juno's approach. That Juno's approach was more like direct, in the sense that his energy is much more about being productive, about achieving things, about moving forward. Like achieving a lot of things, like being constantly producing. And in the case of Changmin, I sense his energy that it's a bit like he just goes with the flow, I believe. And probably he just goes with what the other person wants. Probably in his relationships, he is like the follower, like the one that is like, okay, you want to do this, let's do it. And when I say this doesn't mean that he is not a valuable person. I mean, he does have, because sometimes you need people like him, in the sense that he's really humble and that he's really willing to follow others. Because if you have two people that are really focused on having the power or of the relationship, or probably being very dominant, it's like you will never get like like a communion of ideas. Sometimes you do need people like Changmin in your life, that he's not someone that is going to force his ideas on people. He has his own perception of life and he just goes with the flow. He doesn't force people nor situations. He is a true believer that things happen for a reason and that if it's meant to be, it will circumstances will develop eventually. So he is some kind of, this is why I think that he is very spiritual, because there's something about his mindset that it's very like it's like in a higher level of awareness. He's not materialistic at all, and he is very grateful for the opportunities that he gets, but he's not an initiator, like that the person that is like very passionate and straightforward, and he just goes and makes him things happen. No, he's just nice. He's a very nice person, and he just with his politeness and with his nice personality, he's able to get a lot of things for him. I think that a lot of achievements or a lot of opportunities that he got in this industry is because of his very gentle nature. This doesn't mean that he doesn't have a temper. He does have a temper. It's just that it's not easy to see it, especially on camera. Then we have the engineer and the athlete. So yes, the engineering means that even though he is like very emotional sometimes, or he is very like soft spoken, there's a bit of engineer in his mind, in the sense that he can be very calculating and he can be really smart about, it's like he understands the process of things or the rational side of things. Probably he's really smart, or he just gets like new ideas or technologies. It's like his mind is really advanced in that sense. In the probably, it's like he doesn't know how he understands things, but he does it. Probably he likes like technology, or he enjoys to, I don't know, watch like documentaries about new technologies, or about like the way things are assembled, the way things are created, and he's really interested in the process of making things. Like how do you assemble this to get this, and all the process that you have to. He's very analytical also. So this is why I think that he has a lot of layers to his personality. It's not that he's just one thing. He has this chameleon vibe for me. He can be whatever you want him to be, but at the end, it's like you will never get like a clear answer about who he is. And then we have the athlete. So I don't know about his physical attributes. I don't know if he's tall, if I mean, he's a really handsome man from what I can see. But it seems like he's into sports, and he likes sports that are competitive. So it's like probably he's also very diligent when it comes to working out, or when it comes to be very healthy in that sense, trying to have like a very balanced. It's like, and also he can be like very fond of these kinds of games, group games, where you have to play with others, because he does want to belong to a group. This is very Aquarius also. Instead of him doing things by himself, probably he likes to mix his energy with other people every once in a while. I'm not saying like all the time, but probably he's someone that likes to play with others, and he's really competitive. It's like you can never, like, probably you are like, oh, but you just said he has the Samaritan archetype. Yes, he is very humble and giving, but at the same time, if you put him in a competitive situation, he can get a bit cocky at the same time. It's like this is why I was thinking like maybe he does have like some kind of Leo energy, because whenever he's on the spotlight, he really like unleashes this pride or this ego of his. He definitely likes to look good, and he loves to be praised. So this is like a very very inside, and probably this is why he looks younger than what he is, because he does take care of his image. So let's go with the cards that came out for him. He got the Ace of Wands, the Eight of Swords, the Page of Cups in reverse, the page, no, the Knight of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, the High Priestess, the Four of Swords, the Emperor, and the Devil card. Starting off with the Ace of Wands, I was thinking a lot about this because I believe he is married, and you know that the Ace of Wands represents a very passionate beginning, but at the same time it represents fertility. So I was thinking that does anyone know if he has a child or if his wife is like pregnant? I believe that no one knows, but um, I think that actually here next to the Eight of Swords, I think that the fatherhood of fertility, there's something here that it seems like it's not easy for them to conceive. I know that this is like very intimate, but is what I can see here. This is very emotional. This is something that he really wants from the bottom of his heart, and his energy is showing me this. Actually, I was surprised because I thought that he was going to show me something related to work, but I think that his energy right now is really focused on his family, and I think that there are like there could have been like a pregnancy, like something happened there, but it didn't go well, or they are just struggling to get pregnant. Because the Ace of Wands is about the pregnancy, but here with the Page of Cups also in reverse, it means that even though this is very much wanted, like they really want it, they really want to have family together, and they are very emotionally invested in this aspect. There are a lot of fears in between, that these fears are actually the ones that are like preventing this from happening. You know, probably the two of them are really nervous, or they are overthinking, or they are like too focused on this matter. So this is why the pregnancy doesn't happen. So they need to be more gentle, more compassionate with each other. They need to open up to the idea that this will happen when it's meant to be. And I see here the Knight of Cups. So definitely there could be like some kind of news in a very near future about this pregnancy happening for them. But I think that they need to let go of fears. There's a kind of fear here in the background. It's like when there's a part of you that you really want it, but at the same time, you are really fearful about it. And maybe these fears come from him, actually. But he is very in love. All these cards that are here are about love, are about an emotional bond. So wherever his status with his wife is, he's really happy. So if the fans want to know if he's really happy or if he is really in love with this person, he is. He is in a very joyful union. He's with someone that actually makes him feel like he can be really sensitive, and that he can be very emotional, and he will not be judged. He's very much loved. He's very much loved, and he's in love with his partner. He's very much in love, and I think he will be for a very long time. He's in this honeymoon stage, but I think that with his emotional nature, he will be for a very long time, and he will also love his children a lot too. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Swords, and the High Priestess. So, the Ten of Pentacles also talks about like family and financial stability. So, probably his fears are about finances. Probably he's worried about work, or he's worried about not having much offers to actually keep like himself like in the spotlight. Probably he's a bit worried about that, because he does have like a certain lifestyle that he wants to provide for his loved ones, so he's worried about that. And I think that also here with his relationship, I think that some kind of secret or something about his private life is going to be revealed, because the High Priestess is in reverse. So it means that some things are going to be seen, some things that actually he had managed to keep very secret, or to keep very private. And he will feel this like actually like an invasion to his privacy. Honestly, he will not like it at all. So I don't know, it doesn't mean that this news that will come out is going to be negative. Actually, I don't think so. It's related to his family, so probably if he does, if he's going to become a father soon or something like that, or something about his family dynamic, or about a very close relative to his, something like this happens and it will be revealed by the press or by the media, he will not be happy about it. He will be really disappointed, actually. And he will try to fight it, he will try to deny it, or he will try to hide it somehow. And I think that this will also like inspire him to go in some kind of hiatus. um, and I know that he definitely, like I was mentioning, he's worried about money, he's worried about job offers. But I think that he also has like this kind of pride, here with the Emperor and the Four of Swords. It's like he had been in the spotlight for so long, and he had given to his fans and the audience a lot of really happy moments of entertainment. So I think that there are some things that are not negotiable for him. There's, whenever you mess with his family, or you try to intervene into his family or into his relationship, he finds it very offensive. And it's like he's no longer that nice guy, he's no longer that generous guy. He just shuts down completely. He becomes really cold and detached, because I think that he feels like this Emperor here. He feels like he's like the leader. It's like he's in charge of protecting his loved ones. And he definitely, if he does maintain his relationship and his family life in private, is because of protection, and because he feels like he needs to be protective. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe fans can help me see this, because then next to the Emperor, I see the Devil card. So is it possible that he had received some kind of threats, or some really crazy fans that actually had like somehow sent like threats to him and to his family, or that had done really nasty things to him? Because I think that he he's very protective of his family life, because he was in danger at some point, or probably he received some very menacing letters, or like some very like nasty behavior from his quote unquote fans. So I think that this is why he gets so possessive, and this is why he gets so stubbornly like angry, because he wants to protect his family. And I think that also, I don't know why, because here with the devil card, um there could there be someone that actually was like trying to um blackmail him with revealing like an ex-girlfriend or someone, or someone that pretended to be his girlfriend that wanted to like somehow expose him or expose something from his past, because the devil card here, it's a very toxic behavior. And I think that this is why he is so protective of his family or of his own reputation, because it's like somehow he had been warned, or he had some kind of threats or something like that. Someone communicated with him and was very, very disrespectful towards him. And so I think that this is why he is so fearful, because there's someone very toxic from his past that he's trying to avoid that person, or that situation. So I feel definitely there's like a lot of anger from his side. It's like he doesn't understand how people can be like that. But probably there's a part of him that he knows this person. It's like, this is why I think that probably this kind of threatened, or this kind of like blackmail is something that has been going on for years, because I feel like this is kind of like a systematic kind of like very disturbing behavior, and that he feels very like very angry and at the same time very powerless, because I think that this person is very resourceful, and is also very like, this person is actually, if it's a fan, like, I'm really disgusted by this behavior, but I think that he was threatened and he was blackmailed somehow, and this is why he wants to maintain everything like secure, so I don't know, maybe if you're a fan of him, you can tell me a bit about their background, but I sense a lot of toxic behavior around him, and this is why he gets so overprotective or so private about his matters, because he doesn't want his loved ones to suffer because of his fame. But he will be all right. It's just that there are circumstances that he just needs to probably like leave a bit the spotlight, and rest, and concentrate on his life. But yes, there's a lot of, and I think that probably this devil card, it's also talking about the toxicity towards the group, towards all the members, at some point. I think that this is not just him. I think that this is like the result, the outcome of being part of a group like this. I don't know much about them, but I'm sure that they were really famous at some point, that this is why they get all these crazy people around them. So yeah, he will need to be careful, and it's okay if he does want to take a few months, probably like 4 months to rest or something like that. So let's stay, if let's just stay like very like waiting for news if he becomes a dad or something like that. So let's wait. Maybe we will hear something, hopefully. If it's what makes them happy, I hope that they can have their small family. So thank you guys for being here. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.